Hey guys, welcome back. This will try to be a quick, simple, easy to understand what we're saying about clutching. Figured we need to do this video because you guys have the gear reductions in and you're starting to ask about clutching and stuff. So we're not going to tell you exactly what we run because exactly what we run may not be what you run. Ours is a little on the aggressive side, but it does great. So I guess what we want to get started with is just, this, your primary clutch, this is your secondary clutch. It has a clutch kit in it. The clutch kit that you buy off the shelf right now, you can order and have it in your house a couple, 3 days, is not set up for low speed belt grip like we want for our style of riding with the gear reduction and or portals. So it's completely opposite. The clutch kits you can buy, even the ones that are for big tires, it is all based on that foot to the floor, get everything closing really fast, and somewhere along the top end of the RPM range there, it might actually grip. So, these guys, it's just like a lot of these clutch companies have snowmobile routes, and the snowmobile, if you've not ridden one, is exactly like riding your buddy's Yamaha Banshee back in the day, 2-stroke. You had to light that sucker up to get it to run right. Anything mid-range or lower, it just sucked at. And that's exactly what this is. And when you look at trail riding and rock crawling, hard trail riding, whatever you want to call it, we're trying to bump up on ledges or creep up on ledges, low RPM. And so we want that belt grip from the minute we start pressing the gas pedal. This kit is set up with a stiffer spring, which brings your engagement up. Your motor is going to hit harder whenever it finally goes. And then, there's, where you get problems because it's just not set up for grip down low. So the way that we look at this, we'll try to explain to you. And this is a clutch kit. A clutch with the clutch kit in it. I don't know if you can see in there, but it destroyed this clutch. A $400 clutch kit, $500 clutch kit, destroyed a $600, $800 clutch, and the secondary isn't any better. It's just been burnt all the way through the range and been hot enough. It's got some pits in it and stuff. It's not good. So we've been hesitant to talk about this just because it's a complete 180-degree switcheroo from what anybody else is talking about clutching. And I've seen online that people who weren't talking about clutching for gear reductions and saying rock crawling's stupid, all of a sudden they're popping up on social media being clutching experts for gear reductions, and they still don't have a clue because they don't own this style of razor. They don't know what we expect of it. They don't know what we want to do of it. They're just trying to make a sale. So to help you understand, I guess, before all the misinformation starts coming out there and all these rock crawling clutch kits, they're coming, I promise. And we may have one too, so stick around for that.
But ours will be legit.
Ours will be legit. And the thing of why, so if this is a performance clutch kit versus a big tire, high load clutch kit, is the only thing different in the kit is the helix, the shallower angle to make it easier to turn. The performance clutch kits are a steeper angle, and that's what gets you that seat of the pants feeling like you're really doing something. But it's this is different. So the way we look at it, so from this point on, forget anything anybody's told you about clutching and shift phases and all these fancy words, okay? So in your primary, right, what we're doing is we're running a soft spring in here, because the minute we get on the gas, we want this thing, I ain't gonna be able to do it like that. The minute we get on the gas, we want this to start grabbing the belt, okay? So, like I said, a stiffer clutch spring raises your engagement, which is not what we're wanting to do, and it loads up the motor more to try to get this to close. Yeah, you're making more power, but we want, you know, touch. So, you know, an OEM spring is good to run because it's nice and squishy and soft, and it's actually the right diameter. You can see this aftermarket spring here, when it compresses, it's rubbing the inside. You can see it going down in there. So, I mean, that's causing resistance of this closing. So, engagement RPM, you know, we want that low. So we want a soft spring in there. So along with that is you've got your fly weights, which are right in there. And those will be adjustable with a kit. You got 3 of them. So.
And we do like the aftermarket Assassins.
Yeah, those magnets are awesome. So there you can get a look at them and try to. So when you get, if you hear me scream, it's because I get my finger caught in here. So when you get on the RPM, your fly weights start moving out like that, right? At idle. And the more you get, the more it comes up. Well, your fly weight's actually what starts pushing against that spring. So we run as heavy of fly weights as we can to even squish that soft spring better and to get more grip. That's all we're worried about. That being said, the fly weights, you still want to weight them out to where your peak RPM is 8,300 to 8,600. If you're banging off the limiter at 9,000, you're on the downside of the horse torques curve, and you're just, it's not good, in my opinion. I want to stay right there in the power, where the motor is making the most power at. So that's pretty much what we're looking at there. Fun fact is, with a clutch kit, they actually use a lighter. By the time you put their suggested weights in the arms, you're actually lighter fly weight than what your OEM fly weight was. So even more, your motor's working harder to overcome a stiffer spring to get your belt grip. And we want that belt grip right now when we want it, right?
Yeah, I was picky when we were doing this. I wanted low engagement. What am I, like 1850 or something?
1800, yeah. When it starts to move, probably about, it starts to move sooner than that, 1850, 1800.
I'm rolling, yeah. So, I mean, I think it feels fantastic. I mean, we worked on it forever. I kept saying, I don't like my engagement. I don't like my engagement. And finally got it dialed in. But now when I move anybody else's razors, it's like an OCD. I just cannot stand if it doesn't engage when I want it to.
Yeah, and we went from 2,200 RPMs before it would start to move down to 1,800, and we're moving. So huge increase. So that's what we're looking at with fly weights and spring and what we want the primary to do. So you move into the secondary, okay? So when you're on the gas, the primary, remember, squeezes, grabs the belt. The belt comes up out of it. So your secondary is sitting like that at idle. So as you get on the gas, granted, all this movement is actually this way, but because you're bolted to your shaft there, but as you roll, it just starts to spread and the belt goes down into there. So you've got your helix, and then you got a spring in there. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it. There's a peak of one. right in there.
Yep.
So that's an aftermarket spring. It's purple. We know what brand that is. So anyway, when all this happens, when the primary starts sucking the belt down into there, it's turning the sheaves, but your sheave, this back one, is actually going to be riding against your, see, that'll move. So you got helix angle and your spring. What we do back here is, for gear reduction for portals, you can actually run a performance spring. There's people that still run a high load spring, and I don't know why, because you're just leaving stuff there on the table. But you can actually run a performance helix.
You were saying spring.
Oh, it's all performance.
Cut.
So gear reduction, portals, you can run your OEM helix, you can run a performance helix, and you want a stiffer spring. And my thought is run as, well, I'm not going to say that because there needs to be limits. You want to run a stiffer spring. And what that stiffer spring is going to do with your helix, because your spring rate needs to match your helix-ish, is a stiffer spring is going to resist this opening up. So it's going to open up slower as the primary is trying to dig the belt down into it harder. So we're creating grip up here. We're creating grip in there. So imagine you're looking at you got your imaginary belt in here. So as this squeezes and goes, as you press the gas, it's like pulling your belt, right, into here. So as this comes up, it's going to be pulling your belt down into there. So we want resistance there. You want resistance there for belt grip. You want resistance in there if you're going fast, because it's all about belt grip, and that's that. Even racers, you know, cross-country racers we've talked to, one of our buddies, it's just that, you know, if you're racing and say this clutch kit has a razor that you're racing against, semi-professionally, professionally, I promise this is not the setup that they have in their razor.
Well, we had a big name hill climber get a hold of us about this. And not long after that, he was winning and people were sending us videos. They didn't even know that we had helped him. Just, did you see how awesome this was? And, you know, it feels good that we gave him some advice.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I mean, I get why a clutch company does what they do. Because if we were going to sell clutch kits, and I think we are, it takes a lot of money to have an inventory sitting right here ready to ship out. So we're going to get, if we were doing it to make one kit for everybody, so we didn't have to spend money here and there and have an overstock of this because not many people want it, it's a mess. But so you just make one general kit that you hope works out for everybody. And what's funny is from 2 years ago when we started doing the clutching, is we started seeing companies offer stiffer secondary springs and stuff. So we know y'all listening. I mean, I get it, but this is just a different line of thinking. And I mean, for us, it's worked great. So you've got your gear reduction, you've got your portals. This is the next step, the next tweak. And there's no kit out there you can get it for yet. When there is, they're still probably not going to be quite what we are. And maybe we need to have a custom built kit. I don't know what you guys think about that. If it would sell, I know a lot of people say their stuff is just fine, and if that's fine, then that's fine. But if you got the gear reduction, portals, you're getting the slip, reach out to us, hang out a minute, wait till we get something done here. And even if we can't sell you something, we're still more than eager to help you guys figure this out on your own. I will say one bit of warning on this particular turbo clutch for a 16 to 20. You don't have to, there aren't a lot of spring rates that get crazy. And if you're out there looking for spring rates and they seem crazy, don't use them because they're probably wrong and they could be way too stiff. The Pro XP has some crazy stiff spring rates and stay away from those. Yeah. You don't want to risk doing what we're doing and really going crazy back here because you could run the risk of a straight line snap on your belt, and that's worse than just blowing the belt. So, have I missed anything?
I don't think so.
But that's my thought process of understanding to get where we're getting at is soft spring heavyweights, performance-ish OEM helix with a good stiff spring back here. And a spring can make a difference because I had one spring rate in my RZR when we were first trying this, and she had a little bit lower spring rate in hers. We were experimenting with this. We've been trying this stuff for a while, and our results are phenomenal with what we do. But just that spring was maybe 20, 30 pounds lighter on the ending rate, and you were still getting some belt slip trying to do the trail we were doing. So we just went ahead and popped that stiffer spring in there, and if you watch the videos, we might slip every once in a while, but this system has to slip or else the belt would never travel down in there and you have to go. The cool thing that I've seen in my RZR with the slip is it started to slip, and with this kit, once it starts to slip, it's slipping. It ain't coming out of it. It's just gonna slip. Because of what we've got going on in the primary, the more gas we give it, the tighter it grips. And I was in a nasty spot, and the belt finally in low got up to 195, but it was starting, it grabbed and actually crawled out of the crap I was in, the binds and the holes and the sandwiches, and got out of there, and it cooled right back down. So you know, this is our probably average temp in low when we're in some big rocks is 165. You know, if we're just riding, it's nothing. High gears, I don't think I've seen high gear ever higher than 135. So
I don't have a gauge because I won't check it. I just go.
She won't care. She's just gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I know how to check gauges. I just choose not to.
So I don't know if you guys understood me or not. It's completely opposite of what everybody talks about. I had a friend online. He knows what we're running, and he talked to his buddy at can't remember if it's EPI or SLP, because he didn't believe me that you can put a weight at the tip of your flyweight and you will drop your RPM, your engagement RPM. He didn't believe me, so he got a hold of them guys and just ran my setup by him. Unofficially, through hearsay, this is probably the best setup that you can have for a slow rock crawling style clutch setup.
But I still have no complaints at high speed either.
Now watch the drag race video. Nobody could touch her.
I ran out of gear, but I ended up just letting off the throttle and coasting.
No, so.
Plus, my steering was pretty wild in that loose dirt. That was pretty exciting.
So if you have any questions, drop them down below. Well, we may do a Facebook Live Saturday night. If you have any questions, want to talk about this more, I probably skipped over some stuff or not thought of something you guys have thought of, but this is just another way to tweak everything more.
I mean, if you go back and watch our videos too, you see, well, I feel like we see a distinct difference in, I guess, maybe other people's riding videos, or even, you know, on Facebook and stuff, are a little more exciting because they're having to launch it to get on stuff. But I like mine to ease up on something. If I got to give the woo pow, I like to do it on the back end. I don't like to do it on the front end. The front end, I like to creep up on it, and it works well for me.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, like she said, she drag raced people with performance clutch kits, and they couldn't be anywhere around her come the finish line. So it's not like you're robbing all your power. You put these things in high gear, and they are fun to drive.
I mean, people come here and get their gear reduction and put it in high, and their eyes are that big around when they get back from romping on it in high, just because that torque, that it's right now, it's right to the ground.
Yeah, you're putting it to the ground. But it's a good setup, and like I said, I feel all the clutch companies getting ready to start talking about how good their rock crawling clutch kit is. I feel it coming. And we've worked on every brand that I know of clutch kits. You know, people bring in their razor for gear reduction. Hey, what can you do with my clutch because it's slipping too, and I've got a big tire kit or whatever in it. Every brand, we have the best of brands. There's about 3 different brands that are just a dyno jet clutch kit is all it is.
Did we talk about, like, so when we first got sprinkles done, you know, we bought one of those big tire clutch kits. And one of my first few rides out, the whole time, I was on 32s.
On 32s.
And I said, I'm slipping my belt. I was just disgusted with her behavior. And that's what started this whole journey. You know, and Steven would say, no, I don't think you're slipping at first. But then he got watching videos and was like, yeah, you are.
And then even after the gear reduction, that clutch kit was so bad that it still slipped with the gear reduction, taking all that load off the belt. And, you know, these clutch kits you can buy still slip. And I'm not bashing them, honestly, because there's tons of people out there that have great luck with them.
Well, and I mean, I think these clutch companies, I mean, we can all be honest. I don't know if any of you really have any friends out west or know anybody out west, but there is big, big money out there, you know? So I think that they target that group, which is probably 1,000,000 times bigger than our group. Oh, look, we have a visitor. Is your belt slipping?
Get out of here.
Belt slip. Sorry, we don't
I'm gonna
have
get pooped on.
bird parts.
So, yeah, the rock crawling crowd, the hard obstacle crowd is probably the smallest crowd there is. So anything that we're going to do, we're going to have to come up with ourselves and do ourselves. But
Or help you do it yourself.
yeah, and we really like Venom products. I know I've told a few people before to go to SLP because Venom Products website there was a disaster. It's back good again. And just for fun, here's y'all's homework assignment: is go to Venom Products website. Bless you.
Sorry.
Go to their dealers tab, and before you go click that tab, keep in mind of everything you've seen on social media or YouTube. These clutch people saying these are our products, we machine them, I make them, blah, blah, blah. And then click that dealers tab and look at all the clutch companies that are getting their stuff that they make from Venom Products. It's just a fun fact because I get a tickle on the 1000s on the rollers in the secondary, how people sell them for twice as much as you can get them from Venom, and that's where they get them because it's the same thing. Because we've ordered it from here before we knew, and we ordered it from Venom, and there's the exact same things. Yeah, that's a Venom spring and an SLP bag. So it's fine.
I mean, if we do a clutch kit, yes, we're going to order parts from Venom. Like, all you're going to be paying from us is our knowledge that
of our kit that we've come up with, but we're not going to say that I hand forged your spring.
Yes, yes, we build these springs in the storage container out back.
I mean, I might.
Yeah. So Saturday night on Facebook live, we'll go live maybe about 7 o'clock, maybe everybody be out partying and they won't be on there to watch us.
Or they could party with us.
Party with us Thirsty Saturday, I guess.
I need to get more if we're going to do that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
we can.
Cold snacks.
So I hope this helped, get you guys thinking right. Feel free to message us. We'll help you out. Yeah, we would like to sell a bunch of stuff, but honestly, when it comes down to it, is we've spent so much money buying bad products or stuff that doesn't work for how we ride, and we just help you along the way. That helps free, I guess.
Sorry, I'm distracted by the bird that's on the heater. He keeps hiding. There he is.
So anyway, guys, let us know what you think, what you thought. Please give us a like and drop a comment. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And helps us grow, keeps us motivated to be working on all this stuff. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Thanks for tuning in. If you have more questions, remember, live Saturday night. What'd you say, 7? We'll do 7.
think so.
We'll do 7. Then you can get all the things you need to know and then go.
Yeah,
For
but go
your
ahead and
plants.
drop some comments now, because I don't know everything about this at all. I just have sun shined on a dog's butt whenever I realized what we needed to do. So we're here to share that with you and get your guys' performing as good as ours. Because we still see people with reduction or portals with bad clutch kits in them, and you watch them on the YouTube or when they post their stuff on Facebook, they're still slipping. So we're right here. We can help anybody out. That's about it. That's all I got. What do you got?
Just this bird.
Hiding behind the camera the whole time.
Look. I feel like it's a secret spy at this point. Why won't you go outside?
Oh, and let us know too. We've been updating some stuff on that, getting ready for a ride. You've probably seen that video already, part 2. So, thanks for watching, guys.